Hello, here is a simple trade plan idea I've come up with, and I'm curious to see how it would work out in real time. And it does somewhat it's based off of order flow. And so if you simply look at the night before at 3:59, the end of market, it's a red candle. So we're going to say, okay, whether it's buying or selling, we're just going off of the fact that it's red. So we'll call it a sell and put a line at the top. So my theory is, to make it super simple, you just need to find your distance most far from that point. So say you thought it was a sell. So that point you want to do a put when you're trading as far above that as you can. And what you're going to do at that point is switch over and use the pre-market levels. Okay. So let's move it so it's not showing. Okay, so at this point, we're up to that is the high. Okay, so your goal is to take a put at the white line and hold it for 100% profit. And then market opens and you ignore that it's down here. You have belief that it'll go up, and then you're going to do a put. So you wait. Goes up, but it doesn't quite touch. Okay, with a trade like this is something that I'm used to seeing, but you'll get used to it more the more that you see it. This time from 8 a.m. until market open, you will often see a mimic to a similar degree when market opens. So this trade of going up and then down, okay, that is this little motion right here to some degree. So at that point, when it did not come up to that same height, then you're looking at, okay, it's going to do a few more lowers, and if you think of the whole process of three, you've got your 1, 2, and so the third, when it comes up the third time is when you would take the put. And this way, if it does initially come up to that line, you take a put up here. But if it doesn't, you wait. It gives you a moment to think about what you're doing. You're still buying a put when you're at the top of pre-market. I'm curious actually if this is 8. So 8 o'clock, this is where the market maker started playing with the levels. Regardless, that is a clean entry on the third, but even more so, my second rule for taking a put is you only take it at the top, or you can take it at the middle line. So once it goes up and then comes down and it fails below the middle of pre-market, then when it comes back, touches it, you take your put there, and you're going to get your 50%. And that's just based off of the color and type of candle at market close. So if we do it again here, we had a lot of buying here. Okay, so my idea is, if this is where a lot of people were buying, you want to get in at the lowest possible price as it moves up to that line. So we find our lowest possible price, which is going to be based mostly on pre-market. Okay, there we had a dip, but we want something far away. So we want it to come all the way down here, okay? This, because I've watched it so much, this is a clear sign to me they just dropped it below and it's going to run. So quite honestly, that would be, I don't think it would come any lower, and sure enough, came and bounced, so it filled any order there. So it's likely just going to take off. Okay, so in this, the more you get to read this, then it comes into, okay, this whole idea that the stock does everything 3 times. Well, one, it's there. It's not coming down to do it a second one. And when this stock has already taken off and it's not likely to come, you can still participate by doing the top of pre-market, the bottom of pre-market, and the middle of pre-market. And again, 3. It does its 3 runs. 1, 2. On the third, we're breaking out of the high here, okay? Well, you always want to get in like on a clean touch on the high, or down here in the middle line. It will have a clean line. So the first one, it didn't make it down to any of these zones. The second, it didn't have a clean line. So you know you still, the entry just has not come. You wait for it to come up. This is just great. And then you get in at this line because pre-market, this level has already been taken, right? So there's 3 levels. 1, 2, and here's the third. And then on both of those entries, you would get 100% return. And they're clean entries. Like, you're not going to get stopped out waiting for that right time. Okay, let's see what the next evening brings. So here we have a buy right here. But we also have the equal volume of selling. Okay, so this is therefore just a day of like, the stock's going to return to this level. So you want to get the highest entry point away from it, okay? And do a put, or the lowest and do a call, or don't trade this day. But if you base it on pre-market high, which there it came down and touched, we're looking at that's our high. We're looking for things to happen 3 times. It hit just once there. Okay, that could be considered, we've got 1 tap here and 1 tap here. So either way, when market opens, you're not going to buy on the second tap of either. You're going to wait and see what happens. Okay, so it went above. We have a reason to believe it's going to come here because there's equal amount of buying and selling. Like, there's no reason for it to continue to go up. So you wait. And this one, okay, this is a pre-market high. We did get 1, 2, 3. It dropped below. So you pick it up when it comes back to it. And you would get 100%. Okay, and if this was 1, this was 2 taps, but super sloppy. Makes you think, and plus you're dealing with a buy and a sell. So I would say exactly this, that it wasn't solid to say to buy on the third tap anyways. 1, because this hit perfectly, started to break below, and then you're moving to the downside at that point. Okay, so this day, massive buying right there. Okay, so you want to buy in lower than the investors got in. Okay, so it's 9 o'clock, market is opening. You're like, okay, we had a lot of buying there. Whereas the low of pre-market, so far it's right there. The wicks in this theory does not count. So you've got 1, 2, 3. Therefore, I don't even think it's going to come back to the white line, which it didn't, okay? So in that case, you would say this stock is taking off. You get in on the first candle, or even better, when you see that that line had been hit 3 times. Do we have that? I mean, this one, I remember it was an easy one for me because of the order flow that came in. But I'm seeing if something as simple as this would make, as people are first starting to trade, to be able to take decent trades. So this is green. So we had a lot of buying right there. Okay, so you want to buy when it's lower. Okay, well, so far, pre-market low is right there. That's not very far though. If you want 100%, you need bigger than that. And what is the reason we've had just 1 tap here? So you're going to wait and see what it does, because there's always the 3 solid taps. Okay, and then look at, you didn't get a solid tap. So in fact, when it started to fail, that could be a put, but we're just talking about market open. So this one would be a day that you would not trade because there was not a clean entry point. And my point of that is there is so much value in learning when not to trade. Like, you can figure out the trades in this, but there's so much information at first that goes on. that I feel at least if you can get good at being able to identify a good entry point versus a bad entry point, so when to get in and when not to, will save you time and money. Every time that you get in, just like, well, I want to see how this goes, it just starts to drain your account and it's exhausting. It also drains your confidence level. So I think first establishing a foundation of, okay, I'm going to learn how to only get in a trade on a good entry, one that has a reason and makes sense. So here we have it had again, another buy there, but we also had a lot of selling of equal volume right there. So we've got this narrow little range, okay? So the best you can do with a buy and a sell is get a position as far away possible as you can. So it's trading above, but now it's trading below and above. Okay, we've got some movement to the upside, getting close to market open. So you'd be looking to do a put. And then before market opens, it goes up, up, up. Okay, so now you're looking to do a put. Again, it's still climbing up. And you get to recognize when there is like a level green and red candle is more signifies the temper, like the level at this point. This shows that it will likely go back up later in the day, but this we should have a downside from roughly that level. And sure enough, right there. So market has opened, it's failed that level. Open, it's coming all the way down. You don't have a clean entry there. Okay, because you only want to buy if it's way up in this range. So you wait. There it goes. And there we go. Take your put there. And it comes down here. So that's easy, 100% move. Here we've got a selling going on at this level. So if it's selling, ideally you would want to buy a put above it as high as you can get. Okay, so then to me this is looking good. We're getting further away from the sell level. We've got one tap there. It didn't quite make it there. And it's not coming back up. Okay, so we can use, do we get a clean line in this direction? Okay, it broke above, so I'm going to remove that. Okay, and there's the wicks. There's not the clean, flat candles. Okay, so if you come back, we do have a wick here. So we're going to be looking at either the top or right there to do a put. You're going to see it immediately failed right before market open, so it's more likely going to be this level. Oh, no, wrong, okay. We wait. And it's going up, so we're just waiting because we're like, okay, well, it's going so high. We don't have any flat levels yet. This is a flat level. We can see if it does come back to there. There you go. And you could take a put right there. And you would get your 100% in that move. Okay, so let's come to the next day. Okay, we had a little bit of selling, so we'll see how this one works. A little bit of selling, but then a lot of buying. Little bit of selling, mostly buying. So I would think you'd want to buy a call at the lowest place possible. Okay, so we're looking at pre-market. We're going to bring this level to here. We're looking at buying a call around that level. Okay, have we done things of 3? Not a lot of orders going on here. Okay. So again, we're looking at doing a call up to this. Or I guess, no, now, well, yeah. Oh, and there we go. Look at that. So now pre-market is moved down here, which is even better as far as for a call. Okay. That's not too even. I wouldn't call that the solid bottom. You've got a bit of a gap going on right here. So this could be it. Okay, we get a clean bounce. Oh, break below. I'm looking for, because you're watching this in real time. So, like, that's a big buy candle, which tells me, like, are they going to, is that our level? When it comes below, it's hanging out, staying right there. Just bringing it back to the gap. Oh, okay, it had a clean bounce off the gap, so then I would bring it up to this big green candle there, which it bounced off of that. So now we need to look, this is a sell, so that would provide shares for it to bounce off of. And almost. And where did it end up? The big sell buy right before. Which is where it first started to wick when it kind of slowed down and settled, or after this sell-off. Anyways, I remember I caught this one, and it did look clean. It was slow and a good clean move. Okay. So far this is working more days. There was like just one day that you would not take a trade based on this. Okay, we got a sell order here, which means we would want to do a put when it's above that. Or if we think that the market maker is going to sell those shares off, we need to, buy from here. Okay, so there we are. We're trading above. Okay, we're back down to the low side. So, these little lines mean that nothing is going on in pre-market. So it's pretty dead. Like when we've got the candles, then there's orders going through. So we had a lot of selling at this level. And now we're starting to make movement down here. There's not clean. I mean, that's kind of a clean level. But I always like to check, does this end up being a 1, 2, and we get a third and we get a drop. Okay, so that would be one entry point. The other entry point would be doing the high of pre-market, the low of pre-market, in the middle of pre-market, which it filled it right there. Filled it right there. And when market opened, it was a put there. But the nice thing about it is, again, you can buy a put off of the low too when it comes down. And if it's wicky here, it's going to be wicky here. Like, it's going to be the theme of the day. You even wait from right here. And you remember, well, they had loads of selling at this level, so it's going to go down. Okay, we'll do one more. Let's see if it works. Buying right here. So then you would want to buy when the price is lower. Okay, you don't want to buy a call. Okay, we're looking at that. These little dots are always kind of weird to me. That'd be 1, 2, then that'd be 3. Okay, so if we're doing a call, I'm just going to move this line to pre-market high. you could do a call off of one of those levels because we did get the 1, 2, and the third bounce. So I was going to say it likely might not come. Oh, that was mostly buying right there. Okay, so look at this little dot. You do have to include the little dot because it did go up. But what do we miss? Well, that'd be 1. So you couldn't say there's 3 of nothing on that. Over here, you say, well, it lines up with that. Are we going to get a breakdown to that again? Which it almost did, but almost is kind of tough. Anyway, so this would be the fact that, again, pre-market shows you the chop, shows you it's going to be choppy, and sure enough, it's very choppy. It's like a mirror image. If you like flip it, you're going to get a repeat of what goes on. Because again, they have to kind of make equal distance from all the lines. So in general, this would be a day where you would theoretically say, you know what, it's kind of all over the place, so I'm not going to trade. Again, very, very important. Nothing was clean on this day. I do remember once it started, if you waited it out, what did I find? If it's not clean, like an entry does at some point always become apparent. Well, even here, I mean, it happened at 12:30. We had mostly buying though. I was going to say, so we'd want to go to the upside. So the fact that it's come down here and it's choppy, you want to take advantage of power hour to bring it back up. So the timing also, you'll learn to be very keen on the time of day. Like if you're making new lows, you have no idea if it's going to make another low. So then didn't make a new low, came up, wasn't a perfectly clean rejection off of this, which is a clue that it will likely go back up. So then you've got, it comes down when it comes back above. That's a clean entry point. That's what I'm talking about. Like there's not the wicks on that. So the red candle comes down. That's because an order is getting filled. When there's wicks, they're taking liquidity and stop losses. So from there, I mean, that move itself would be 100%. And even closer to power hour. Anyways, you get the idea.